was at Dudo's, which is a mecca. Dudo's is like, this is Dudo's, this is PIRU, okay? So I got a pass because I did not gangbang. I DJ'd parties in the front hood, so I understood the ramifications of playing these kind of games. So I never chose to play them games. Now I'm looking at brothers that I know never really played these games, not understanding what they're doing. Now, first of all, understand this. They initially were not gangster rappers. Let's get this straight. Think about this now. They were telling reality. They were doing reality raps.
See, cruising down the street in my 6'4".
It was gangster about that. So there was no reason for me to dislike the music, because what's wrong with that? My only issue that I've ever had with NWA was it stood for niggas with attitudes.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
Okay.
So when you seen them go over and you seen the things start to happen where it got real gangster, and you seen Suge Knight applying the pressure, and it was real gangster around everything that was going on with Dre and all of them.
Right.
Snoop was coming into the picture. You seen it from afar. You looking at it. You know these boys. Did you ever think, man, they getting in too deep with the way the street thing going?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
You know, coming from Compton, man, growing up in Compton, I grew up in the very beginning of the gang era. I left Centennial High School behind gang shit. I fought, I got chased, been shot at, all kind of shit. I knew that shit was not for me. So when I saw cats that I knew it wasn't for them try to get involved in it, I didn't think it was a very good idea. Because the people that I grew up with, I couldn't come from being a nightclub owner to a gangbanger at 29 years old. I done had a nightclub since I was 22. I was at Dudo's, which is a mecca. Dudo's is like, this is Dudo's, this is PIRU, okay? So I got a pass because I did not gangbang. I DJ'd parties in the front hood, so I understood the ramifications of playing these kind of games. So I never chose to play them games. Now I'm looking at brothers that I know never really played these games, not understanding what they're doing. Now, first of all, understand this. They initially were not gangster rappers. Let's get this straight. Think about this now. They were telling reality. They were doing reality raps.
See, cruising down the street in my 6'4".
It was gangster about that. So there was no reason for me to dislike the music, because what's wrong with that? My only issue that I've ever had with NWA was it stood for niggas with attitudes. Being a kid, being a person that was born in the 50s, I'm an old son of a bitch. I ain't never heard my daddy refer to a nigga as being anything but derogatory. So you can't. It's hard to rewire me into making that a term of endearment.
When you think about it, though, these guys are now going into a place where they're dealing with real live gang members.
Right.
They're in these shows, they're represented. You're seeing the red flag, the blue flags pop up. You know where it come from. You live around it, but you've managed to stay away from it. But you see guys who you never seen in that format, in that whole line of sight with what was going on during the time. When you see this, you say, it concerns me because I know they're not built like that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not even a part of that. They're not even. But now they're being pulled into that.
They're being pulled
Suge
into
Knight and them is I heard from different sources that Suge wasn't really. Some people tell me he was a football player.
He was a football player, but money gets you all kind of shit.
But money gets you stuff. So he started affiliating himself with different people in the game. Allegedly, that's what I heard.
That was the flavor of the day, because see, when the gangs have always been in Compton, in L.A. We had the businessmen, we had the Slawsons, we had various gangs back in the 60s, but they all fought for a reason, okay? When in the 80s, when the dope came in, because see, we always had dope and gangs, and usually gangs and dope stay separate. But when the 80s came around, we got Reese's Pieces, we got the peanut butter and the chocolate together, baby. And now you got gangs and you got this dope that's available, that's affordable, and you got territories that's worth money. So now you got a whole nother level of gangbanging. When I was coming up, a kilo of cocaine was $30,000. It wasn't a young man's game. It wasn't until crack hit in the 80s, brought the price down, and then turned it into a youngster's game, and then the youngsters took it to a whole nother level with the machine guns and the drive-bys and the whole situation, and that made everything volatile. The whole city was volatile. And that was a game I damn sure didn't want to play. I don't like looking over my shoulder. That's just Alonzo.
Wow, Alonzo, I'm telling you right now, man, like I said when we first started, taking you out of the picture doesn't exist. Go ahead.
So, okay. So you said that because of your daddy and how he was, you didn't like that word. Okay.
I mean, I didn't like
but
it.
But as time go along and you hear people using it so much more, how did you start feeling about it?
I eventually started using it. It's just at that time.
At that time.
For a group
right.
to be named Niggas with Attitude. Understand this. In 85, 86, I'm one of the senior players on the West Coast.
Right.
Ain't nobody done this before. Nobody ain't ever tried this before. So when you try to convince me, I'm dealing with Larkin Arnold, Gerald Busby, all these heavyweight people. Ain't nowhere in the world I can take these people, a group named Niggas with Attitudes.
Right.
Okay, R&B was too strong back then.
Because a lot of people did turn them down before.
A lot of people did.
They did actually get that break.
Money changes a lot of people's attitudes. So it was hard for me to do that because I knew the people I was working with. These guys are NAACP award-winning cats. They're not gonna let my black ass do it.
Right.
Okay. And if I had been the one to do it, now understand this. If I had been the one that brought them, I always figured that I would get ridiculed because I'm the senior guy in the group. I'm 8 years older than Dre, 12 years older than Cube. So if I'm 28, these guys 16, 22 years old. I'm supposed to teach them better than that. That's always been my upbringing. If you're the senior person in the group, you're supposed to lead by example.
Right.
You ain't supposed to be with the bullshit. So everybody's mama, because I ain't met
gonna be looking at you.
Wait a minute, let me say this right quick. I ain't met nobody's daddy yet. It's 2024. I have yet to meet Yella's daddy. I knew Dre's daddy, but I ain't talked to him since Dre came to work for me. I have never met Cube's daddy. He's still alive, but I never met him. I knew all these people's mamas.
Because weren't most of them in single mama parent households?
Not necessarily, but some of them were. But I'm just saying, at no point in time have I ever met their dads. But everybody knew my dad. Everybody knew the guy that put me in the club, Jeff D. So these guys instilled a certain amount of responsibility to me because also you got to remember, my business is dealing with kids. I had a teen nightclub at 22 years old. People are bringing me their kids every Friday and Saturday night. 13, 14, when I do, even with the dark day, it was more like 16, 17, but at Doodles, they was 13, 14 years old, bringing me their kids. Now, when you drop your kid off, you expect your kid to come out with one piece.
Right.
So that was my responsibility. So why would I change that responsibility, that sense of responsibility for the record industry?
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.